Okay, so Sam lives halfway between his friends, Danny and Leo. Danny's house is located at point -44, and Leo lives at point 9, -8. So Sam is halfway in between. So Sam is going to be the halfway in between. So that means that we have some points on our graph. So if we want to check out what this looks like, so we have Danny at -4, 4. So Danny is back 4 and up 4. So that's approximately right there on my graph. And I'm going to call that D for Danny. Leo lives at 9, -8. So that's over 9 and down 8. So that's down here. So down here is going to be Leo. I'll call that L. And it says Sam lives exactly halfway between. So that means Sam is halfway in between. So that means if I'm looking at Danny and Leo, he's got to be somewhere halfway in between here. So obviously this is going to be a clear case of the midpoint formula. So we are going to be trying to find the midpoint in between Danny and Leo. So midpoint between -4, 4 and 9, -8. So we can use our midpoint formula, which says we add up the x's. So remember, this is an x and this is an x. So add up your two x's. So that's -4 plus 9. And we're going to be dividing that by 2. So remember to put in your calculator first. -4 plus 9. Punch that in, and you should get a 5 over a 2. A 5 over a 2. 5 divided by 2 is going to be 2.5. So those are my x's. So we've got 2.5 is my first part of my coordinate. Now I have to do my y's. So that's my y and my y. So same thing, add up your y's and divide by 2. So that's a 4 plus a -8. And whatever the answer is, we will have to divide that by 2. So 4 plus -8, put that in your calculator. 4 plus -8, you get -4, and that is going to be over 2. -4 divided by 2 is -2. Remember to put all of this in your calculator first and get an answer before you divide by 2, because if you push it all in all at the same time, you're going to get the wrong answer. So that's the way I always do it, in a double step. So get an answer on the top, divide by 2. We get -2. So we think the coordinates are, we think this is our midpoint. Now, since we have some graph paper, let's just take a second and check it. So let's go over 2.5. That's 1, 2.5 spaces, and then down 2, 1, 2. That puts us right here. Now, does that look like that's the midpoint? Does this look like it's Sam's house? It sure does. And remember, we can count and double check. Remember how we can count bubbles? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 bubbles, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it better be the exact same going to Danny's house. So that was 6.5. So there's on my half. 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it does actually work. So we could check it on our graph and check it in our formula. So this right here is our midpoint where Sam lives.